Dear Verastructor, today I was going to make a video about families, but the concept of the family does not occupy the proper metaphysical space in my mind that it deserves. So that video will have to come later, once it has grown inside my soul into that proper physical space. I had a similar problem with deciding what a second Verastruct album should sound like. Almost 2 years ago exactly, I wrote in my journal, I have no idea what a Verastruct crescendo should look like in the beats per minute, number of instruments, and layers of harmony. Just follow the clock, 60 beats per minute. Just add instruments and harmony when I want to. One instrument layer every 30 seconds. Surely music is a less Verastruct medium than a book or YouTube video. I was missing some key elements of a subsequent Verastruct album, but even the ones that I did have, I didn't understand properly. This attempt of mine to brute force a second album by thinking, writing, and pushing is not nearly as effective as just letting it go and letting it slowly, powerfully grow into my being. For instance, I now know that there is a frequency of life, that it can help decide such issues such as beats per minute and harmony, but also song length, repetition standards, and much more. That because of the frequency of life, music is actually the perfect harbinger for Verastruct media, precisely because it translates so well into motion and action. So sitting here, letting the idea of a new album percolate and grow within me has been more productive than forcing it, even slightly. We see this also with environmental politics. I quote Wendell Berry, "Abstraction is the enemy wherever it is found. The abstractions of sustainability can ruin the world just as surely as the abstractions of industrial economics. Local life may be as much endangered by those who would save the planet as those who would conquer the world. For saving the planet calls for abstract purposes and central powers that cannot know, and thus will destroy the integrity of local nature and local community." This is an important point that Verastruct has long been making about how environmental politics that attempt to tackle environmental change and degradation on a global scale are destructive in literal terms. But even the concept of abstraction being the enemy is so much more essential. It is a truth on many, many metaphysical levels. A couple years ago, we bought a bunch of fiddly figs, and as I like to do with them, I split them up and I repotted them into new pots to give them plenty of room. Normally when you get pots from the store, they're all root bound. The roots don't have anywhere to go. They took their time, but they were dead from the moment I put my hands in their soil. My control of them was their undoing. Years later, we finally decided to buy another fiddly fig. It's actually the one right here. So, spoiler alert, I took the pot, put it where I wanted it to be for years, and I didn't repot it. I let it sit there for a very long time, and then when I did repot it, I literally just took it out of the plastic sleeve and put it into a bigger container. Didn't move its orientation at all. It's been one of my crowning achievements as a botanist. In fact, let's take a look at it right now. Here you go. There it is. Beautiful fiddly fig. I have found this lesson, the lesson of letting go of control and letting things grow within you as opposed to forcing them, even ideas, reproducible for parenting, for environmental politics, for relationships, and even, yes, how to make a natural music album. Abstraction in every case is the enemy. It is integral to humanism, destructive to the life force of living beings, disrupts the natural growth frequency, and dams the river of reality. Even such things as music, ideas, and projects must grow within if they are to be true. They cannot be forced, else they are abstracted and become our undoing. As the first humanists, the Greeks understood this concept really well, and they coined it hubris. This idea that humanity's consciousness, by degrees, turns and turns until it becomes a horrible torture. Our products must be produced by consistent and durable effort, such that they look more like a fruit, in that it grows over time and that it doesn't overstay its welcome. Unlike something like a gear, which may last forever and definitely will overstay its productive use. I'm humbled by the fact that my greatest achievements have come from my subconscious thinking, from my subjective perspective, from my life force growing into itself, and from my hidden access to other dimensions. This is Verastruct. Truth grows. It cannot be built. And you are a deep fountain of unique identity, Verastructor. Have a lovely week.